a really, really interesting one, senior advocacy. So I think we've all recognised the issue that HR helps, design a great process backed up with fabulous software, and managers and employees are busy, hopefully, using it in a continuous way. But actually, the people who are quite tricky to get involved in this can sometimes be the very most senior leaders. So what would we say about encouraging them to actually walk the talk and do performance management themselves? Hedda, have you got any quick tips on that?
I have, because this is where we start with all our clients. Even if we're just going in to just do a small amount of management training, but certainly if we're going in to do a bigger project, is that if we're going in to do a design process, I now won't agree to do a project unless we engage with the CEO, or if it's a global organization, obviously the local CEO of whatever area we are, and the senior leadership team. Because if they think that performance management is about having a few people having a few conversations a year and it's not really very important and it's a minor issue, there is frankly no point in the organization spending the money on what they're planning to do. So I will go in and I will ask senior leaders very clearly to say to me, if performance management was working perfectly in their organization, whatever that process happened to look like, what would be different for them? And that 99 times out of 100 results in a long pause, and the chief exec saying, that's a good question. And then we work through, and I structure process, I work through working out what is it that the senior leadership team want out of performance management. What performance are they not getting? What is the performance gap in the organization that they want closing? Is it a behavioral gap? Is it an alignment gap? Is it an energy and a drive? What are the problems that performance management is there to address? And once we've got that, then we'll work with a HR team and probably a cross-functional team to think about how do we design a performance management process that will deliver that outcome. And then, of course, the senior leaders want it because it's what they wanted. And so then you don't have the struggle for advocacy, because then you have leaders going, no, we ordered this because I wanted increased alignment. So I'm expecting to see increased alignment here. So why isn't everybody using this tool or using this platform or engaging in this training or whatever it is to deliver the increased alignment that effectively made me sign off on the investment? So for me, the question is I shouldn't be encouraging them to walk the talk. We should have gotten to a point where they are desperate to walk the talk because this is what they really want.
Absolutely love it. So my bullet point here is the process, the system, whatever it is, needs to be meaningful to senior leaders. It needs to have purpose. It should be seen as a critical business function. It's not a thing that we have to do for compliance or something like that. Booking your holidays is not a business critical function, but having people aligned, performing to their best, getting on well with their manager, getting the feedback and progression they need, one of those will be seen by the senior leadership team as absolutely fundamental to the success of the organization. And this process should fall neatly out of those discussions. So absolutely with you on that, Hedda. Yeah, I mean, the other thing I was going to say is, what about where we're talking about maybe sort of middle managers who are not they're not sitting on the board talking about the drive and direction of the company, but they're not just on the receiving end. They need to, they may be managing small teams of people. I don't know what you would say.
So middle managers have it, they have it really tough in the business. I think the larger the business, the harder it is on the middle managers because they get squeezed from both sides. So with those people, I think first of all, you have to make it really simple. So, you know, there are systems where there's loads and loads of approvals and grandparent signs off and cross matrix signing off and all of that kind of complexity. I would rip all of that out totally, and encourage middle managers again to think, what is the one thing that I really, really need to know about performance in the multiple teams that are below me, and show them, support them on how they can use your software to get access to that one thing. So maybe they want to know where the up and coming talent is. Maybe they want to know, you know, where the strengths are in terms of technical capabilities, you know, but maybe they want to know which teams are really delivering on results and which aren't, whatever it is. And then I would really support them in using some of the behind the scenes tools that are available to help them access the knowledge that they want, because if they then see the knowledge they want, they will then get frustrated where there are gaps in the data, and then they will be going out and saying to people, just a minute, I don't know what's happening in that, you know, in the office in Cornwall or whatever. Not that I'm suggesting the Cornish office is always, but you know, I need to know what you're doing. So I think for middle managers, it's really about showing them the value they can get out from behind the scenes on it, as well as obviously the importance of them having their own conversations. And you need to they need to remember that if they don't have good conversations with their managers, that the people who report to them, then those people won't role model that going down the organization. So I think that's where I would go. But I don't pretend to say that a middle manager has an easy life, because they don't.